This will be a quick and easy way to turn a headlight that looks like this into something that looks like this. Basic process involves starting out with sandpaper. I started out with 2000 grit, used that for about 10 minutes, then moved on to 3000 grit, used that for about another 10 minutes on just one headlight. And then for the last step went to a polish, something like this Meguiar's plastics polish and cleaner. Use that with like a terry cloth type applicator or something similar, and do that for about another 10 minutes to really get the final shine. And then for the last step, also applied a coating so that it'll protect it for at least a little while. It's headlight coating from Meguiar's as well. So, of course, there's kits out there that you can get, and you can go and spend a lot of money on a lot of different products. But if you just want something that's relatively cheap and fairly easy to do, you can pick up some sandpaper for a few bucks and a little bit more, get some of these other products just to kind of finish it off. And you can also get some drill attachments or a buffer to speed up the process, or you can just use a bit of elbow grease and get pretty close to the same result. So the first thing you want to do is take some painter's tape and tape off the area around the headlamp, so you don't want to get anything on the painted surface as it'll damage it. Once you have all the painter's tape applied around the bodywork, then you can start on sanding. So you want to start with cut a strip of 2000 grit sandpaper. Keep a little water handy and just keep it wet throughout the whole process. And just start sanding all that top layer of dirt and grime and pitting off. As you start sanding, you'll start seeing some white film and debris come off. That's the coating coming off, and we'll have to reapply another protective coating at the end. It's good to keep a spray bottle handy. Just clean it off every so often. So after about 10 minutes of using the 2000 grit sandpaper, I went through a couple strips about this size. You can clean it off, and then we can move on to the 3000 grit sandpaper. Okay, so after the first layer has been taken off, it'll look something like this, and you can start with the 3000 grit sandpaper. And same thing, we'll just kind of keep it wet, get ourselves some fresh water, and start sanding. So after about 10 minutes with the 3000 grit and a couple strips of those, it'll look something like this. And I spent most of my time in front of the low beam and a high beam, just because those are the most important things for me, the driving optics, to make sure they look good. So to take it to that next level, we'll need to get some polish, and then we'll be done. For the last step, I'm going to use Meguiar's Plastics Cleaner and Polish. This will get it to that final clear, transparent look that we're looking for. So just apply a little bit at a time to this terry cloth applicator or something similar to that. And we start polishing again for about 10 minutes. So just reapply some every so often and keep going. And with the polish, it's good every once in a while to just kind of spray it and wipe it clean, and then reapply. See things starting to clear up with the polish, and you can just continue to polish until it gets to your liking. My headlamps have about 10 years of driving on Texas highways, so they're pretty abused and beat up. Lots of pits. You can spend a little more time to take some of those deep scratches and gouges out, or you can just get it good enough to where it looks clear and you got good lighting. And once we're done with the polish and we have it clear enough for our liking, we can just wipe it down with all the the remaining polish off of it. Okay, so for the final step, we're going to apply this headlight coating. This one's from McGuire's. There's several out there, but it will protect the lens from UV rays, which is the most harmful thing, especially as it gets bombarded with road debris and starts to break down the protective layer. Since we took that original hard coating off, we need to add something back to help protect the lamp. At some point, we'll have to go through this process again and clean it up. You want to apply it in just thin, medium wet layers like that, 50% overlapping strokes. So after a few minutes, you can apply a second coat of this protective coating. You want to be sure not to get it on any paint on the vehicle or any other materials around it, so it's good to have a good portion of the body masked off. We'll let this dry. After a few hours, it's got a pretty good set, and I think after about 24 hours it's fully cured, so you can get it wet after that.